Hey friends, so welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Emily, and today is going to be a reading vlog that is me avoiding a slump, because right now I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm going to slump out because nothing's holding my attention. I'm having a weird week where I'm just very distracted and I'm not really focusing on what I'm trying to read, and I'm trying to read fantasies right now, which are not good books to read when you can't focus. So this is going to be a mood reading, avoiding a slump vlog. Do I know what I'm going to read yet? No. I've been really into reading on my Kindle, so I think I'm going to focus on books that I can read on my Kindle. And just because I can also stand up and move around and carry my Kindle with me, so that may help me like when I get antsy, but we'll see. But I do know what book we're starting with. So I did read the first few chapters of Kiss the Sky today, and so far it's holding my attention. So this book is the fourth book in the Addicted Calloway Sisters series, and this is Rose and Connor's book. So this is the first book we're following a different couple other than Lo and Lily. So I've been waiting for a different couple. I like Lily and Lo, but I don't think they're gonna be my favorite by any means out of this series. I really think Reich and Daisy will be, but first we're doing Connor and Rose, so I will be reading their book. I'm a few chapters in, and I'm really enjoying it. It's holding my attention. I downloaded it onto my phone at lunch today because I just was not feeling the book that I was reading. It was an option that I had been wanting to get to anyway. So that is where we are starting the vlog. I know this is probably a very confusing, flustery intro, but honestly, that's just how I feel right now. And these are my life vlogs as much as they are reading vlogs, because that's what I do in my free time is I read, and it is what keeps me sane. So a lot of times I think like where I am in my life kind of just shows through in the vlogs. So it's been a day. Today is the day we found out that Taylor Swift now owns her original masters, which is exciting. But then I was also extremely devastated to learn that we are not getting the Reputation re-recording anytime soon, if ever. So that is my favorite album, so I am a little bit upset about that. I'm very happy for her that she owns her masters, and I listened to the old Reputation all the way home. And I'm excited that I can listen to that guilt-free now, but at the same time, very upset I'm not getting that re-recording. But it's okay. We'll move on. There are worse things in life. It was just kind of a crappy day, and then I piled on. But that is why I decided, you know what, I'm going to read what I'm in the mood to read. Gonna try to stick towards Kindle books, but maybe even more so Kindle books that I own. So that is the plan for this vlog. There's not too much to talk about yet in Kiss the Sky, because like I said, I'm only a few chapters in. We kind of started with learning about how they met, or I don't know if I would say met, but like an interaction from like years ago. And now we're more in the current timeline following Addicted for now. So we got a little bit of like before with them, and now we're getting to where they are now and dealing with their relationship and feelings for each other and all of that present day. So far it's really, I'm excited. I think I'm really gonna like them as a couple, because they're both extremely intelligent people, and the way they bicker and they like egg each other on, I love that banter between them. So we'll see, but I will update tomorrow with if this worked for me with keeping my attention and how I'm feeling about the book at that point, and then we'll just kind of see where the wind takes us, because I don't know at this point. But let me know below what you guys do to get out of a reading slump. Like, I just feel like I've been getting to the point where I'm like almost there a few times this year, and I've been getting myself away from them, but at the same time, like, this is a year for me that's kind of weird, because I've never had so many roadblocks, I think, to reading as I've had this year. So I'm just kind of curious as what you do when you feel like you're gonna slump out. Need some tips and tricks. So let me know in the comments, and stay tuned for my thoughts on Kiss the Sky and the rest of the vlog. I'm just over 50% of the way through Kiss the Sky, and I am loving this book. I was actually online, because I've never thought I would love this series like I am. After I read the first book, I didn't even know that I wanted to continue. But I did, and I've loved it. Every book I've loved it a little bit more. And now that we're into like Rose and Connor, and we're not like focusing on Lily and Lo as much, I'm also realizing how much I really don't like them as a couple. Sorry, but maybe that'll change in time. But I don't know, like seeing them from this perspective too is just like not really endearing them to me right now. But anyway, Rose and Connor they're the focal point of this book, and I just feel like they're just such a unique couple, and their characters are so unique in this romance that I can't wait to see what happens. And There are 2 characters in this book right now that I'm just waiting for one of the 3 male main characters to just haul off and punch in the face, because honestly, I want to do it. They are so annoying. I know they're there to create the drama. I know that's what these books are about, but I can't stand them. And 50% of the way in, 50% closer to Working Daisy's first book. So I'm loving that tension that's building throughout this book, as well as, I would say, the last book. There wasn't really much in the first 2 of them, but in the last book, Addicted for Now and Now Kiss the Sky, I'd say that it's starting to build onto what we know will eventually turn into their books. So yeah, very excited for that. And other than the 2 characters that I just want to punch in the face right now, I am really liking this book. I'm liking the story. I'm frustrated, but you know what? I needed this drama. I needed this kind of a feeling in a book, I think, because the fantasies just weren't doing it for me right now. And this is exactly what I needed. So I don't know where I'm going to go after I'm done with this one, with this vlog, but we'll see. And just kind of riding the wave right now, enjoying what I'm reading, not focusing on what's next, because I have so many options. I think I've overwhelmed myself, but we'll get there. So I'll update later today probably, and yeah, that's all I have for now. So that book was exactly what I needed to start getting me out of this little slump feel that I'm in. I ended up giving Kiss the Sky 4.25 stars. It definitely was dramatic and had a lot of like crap in it that was really frustrating, and the one character that I wanted to punch earlier totally deserved it. Totally deserved it. Even by the end of the book, deserved it more. The other one, yes, still deserved it, but there was definitely one person in that book that I absolutely could not stand, or ugh. Anyway, I really like the start. I don't want to say the start, because when we start this book, Rose and Connor are already established. It's not a book where like the romance comes out of the story. Like the romance is there. This is just them dealing with things together as a couple and deciding like what they want for their future. And I really enjoyed that. I like how this one was written. I like this couple better than Lily and Lo. I still don't love them. I don't know what it is, but I'm very excited to get into the final couple in this series in the next book, because I think that they're going to be my favorite. I don't know, Rose and Connor I ended up liking a lot more than I thought I would. And their story and their personalities and stuff, when they're the main characters, I really, really, really liked them. So we'll see how that works out, but it was exactly what I needed. And now I'm just going to try to chase that high. I was going to go into Hot House Flower, which is the next book in the series, but I don't want to like rush through it. I could end up regretting that, but we'll see. But I am going to go into King of Greed, which is the 3rd book in Anna Huang's Kings of Sin series. I just got King of Envy, and I really want to get to it because like everybody's been talking about that book. This is a very short one. I think it's the shortest in the series. And this is about Dominic and Alessandra, who we met in the previous 2 books. And they're already married, so they're not like in a good place in their marriage, so they're trying to salvage it, I think, is what this book's about. Like him really taking a step back and deciding that she means more to him than anything else, and he has to now prove that to her. So that is what the back kind of implies, and based on their relationship, like it is that he's focusing on everything but them, and that's bothering her. So I'm going to read this. It is on KU. I think I'm going to try to read it physically for a bit. We'll see. And then I'll probably go back and forth. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this one. And then eventually the last 2 that are out. But I'm in like a series kick right now. Like I'm really in the mood to just like continue series that I've been in the middle of, and basically romance series. So that'll probably be a theme that you'll see in the next few books, whatever I pick up for this vlog. Because we are going to be going into June tomorrow. Today is May 31st. Yes. And I have books in June. All of my TBR that I picked up for June are continuing series books, and I have quite a few romances that got selected. So this is not one of them. Kiss the Sky was not one of them, but I did want to kind of, after reading that one and knowing that that's what's coming tomorrow, I did want to pick another book that kind of fit that theme, because that's what's hitting for me right now. So gonna start this, and I'll update you all later. I'm about halfway through King of Greed. This book is putting me in a lot of emotional distress. Like, I didn't think I would like a book about a married couple that is trying to basically salvage their marriage or find out if they want to even try to have a relationship. And Dominic is just absolutely destroying me because his pain is so real and so raw. And so is Alessandra's, obviously, but just like the fact that this man literally had no clue that he was screwing up so badly. And he's a man. They don't get it all the time. And quite honestly, like, I'm going to take his side on part of it because I don't feel like she was possibly as upfront with her feelings as maybe she should have been about the fact that he was like ignoring their relationship, because men, they need to be told. But like, he is in so much distress and like pain, and he is so upset over this that like I was just crying. I've just been crying. I don't look like it because I haven't cried for a few chapters, but about 3-4 chapters in, I was just in emotional distress, and it hasn't really let up. So this is not very long, which is good because the amount of pain I'm in, I don't want to be in it forever. So I'm, like I said, I'm 162 pages in, and it is only 315 page book. So I'm like basically halfway through. And yeah, I'm interested to see what the breaking point's going to be. I mean, I'm assuming we're going to get a happily ever after. It is a romance book. I've never read an Anna Huang book where the couple doesn't end up together. So I really hope that this is not the first one. I'm interested to see what the breaking point for them is going to be. Like, what is going to be the point where they decide if it's worth trying to be in a relationship anymore. So I will probably just update when I'm done because it's, again, not a very long book, but holy crap, I didn't think this one would get me as much as it has. So, talk later. Emotional damage. But like not terribly bad. Yeah. Pretty much what the catalyst to what eventually like got them back together happened right after my last check-in. It wasn't that easy, and I still had to be like heartbroken over Dominic's pain and suffering that she put him through. But I still stand by what I said with like, I think that she wasn't as open with him about their marriage. Like, she tried to like hint at things, but like I said, he's a man. He needed to be told that what he was doing was bothering her, and I think he would have tried to make changes earlier in their marriage if she had been open and honest about it. Communication. It's great. It's great, everyone. But I really did like this one. I'm going to give it a 4.25, and I don't know if I said what I rated Kiss the Sky, but it's the same. Both are like 4.25 stars for me. This may be my favorite one in the series so far, just because like of the actual pain I felt when I was reading this. And the fact that I felt that for someone, fictional couple, that I can't even really relate to, that says something. So 4.25 for this and for Kiss the Sky, because I do not remember if I actually gave that one a rating earlier. But now I think I'm going to read an arc I have on NetGalley. It's Gracie Harris is Under Construction by Kate Hash. It's a debut novel, so this is her first novel, and it is a mom of 2 and recent widow, which is funny because I posted a video on TikTok the other day of like single dad books, and this one and another book that I want to read, Jupiter Hill, I believe, is also a single mother trope, and someone was like, I need more single mom ones, which I have a few of because I did notice them on my shelf when I was picking the ones for single dad trope. But this apparently is one too. So she is this is going to be emotional damage too. Gracie never intended to become the queen of grief, but when an essay she writes the night of her husband Ben's memorial goes viral, she lands a popular column on Love and Loss, an impressive book deal. Okay, so now with the biggest tragedy of her life as the center of her world, a looming book deadline, and her kids at summer camp, Gracie escapes for a summer of solitude to the ramshackle mountain house she and Ben bought for their family before his death. When charming contractor Josh arrives on her doorstep to help renovate the home, Gracie discovers an unexpected connection. So we'll see how this grief. There's a lot of books I've been reading about that have had grief representation in them lately. So Annabelle Monaghan blurbed this and said, a raw and compelling exploration of grief and rebuilding. Gracie Harris left me full of hope and with a renewed faith in second chances. So we'll see. Single mom, looks like construction worker, homeowner. And yeah, so I'm gonna start this. Probably won't get too far in it this evening, but it seems like romance novels are just like where I'm at right now. This comes out July 29th, so it's got a bit of time before it comes out, but I need to read it and write my review and everything. So, and I want to read on my Kindle again. I could have read this on my Kindle, but I read it physically. It wasn't a very big book. So, gonna start this tonight, and I will update y'all tomorrow. And I'm not gonna get too much reading done tomorrow, I don't think, because my sister and I are going to the city's Pride Parade. We're gonna be in the Pride Parade tomorrow, so I will be doing that for most of the day. So yeah, but I will update at some point tomorrow with where I've got with this book, and obviously thoughts and whatever on it. So talk to you then. Okay, so I'm like halfway through. Gracie Harris is under construction, and it honestly hasn't felt too much like a romance yet, because we're really still learning about Gracie and her husband and her plans for this book she's writing, this memoir that she's writing, and like how it's talking about how she's coping with the loss of her husband and everything, and how she's just trying to basically figure her life out and try to keep things as normal as possible for not only herself but her 2 children. And they're fixing up this house that they bought in this Canopy, I think the town's called Canopy. So there is Josh, who is the contractor, and he is more of like a friend to her and just like helping her figure out all of this stuff that she's going through. Mainly like she's doing all these interviews and she's just not comfortable talking about things, so he's like helping her practice for these interviews, which is helping her open up to him, so they're getting to know each other that way. So it is, I would say, a slow burn, like the slowest of slow burns, because we are 50% of the way through, and they've admitted that like, well, she's admitted that she's attracted to him, and like obviously she's like aware that he is attracted to her as well, but there's like secrets that he has. It's a small town, so like everybody knows everybody's business, and there's some secrets that she knows are there that people really won't talk about when it comes to him and his past and his like love life and all of that. So I think that that's going to come into play with a lot of what's going on with him. But yeah, it is a romance, I think, but it is definitely a slow burn and more about her dealing with her grief of losing her husband and trying to like let people in again and be open to that. It's not that she doesn't want to date, she just doesn't ever really kind of go past a first date. She's just kind of dating to get back out there and try not to dwell on the fact that her husband is gone. It's like a coping mechanism for her, I would say. But she also, it is still a romance. I don't know. It's good. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely sad because you're seeing her deal with like all this crap and some of the things that like that have happened to her that are coming out in like their conversations and things that she's like flashing back on, like the way people are treating her and how she's choosing to grieve, and all of that is kind of crappy. And I'm sure that really does happen in real life, which is, again, not ideal, but I don't know, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely less romance though, and more like a character study on her and grief, which is fine. But I'm going to continue reading. I have a few ideas of what I want to go into next, but I don't think I'm going to get too much further tonight. I want to get a little bit further, but I'm very tired. It was a very long day when we went to the parade and everything, and I got home a lot later than I thought. So not only was I like on my feet and walking all day, but I was just out and around people and socializing, so I'm very tired. And I have work tomorrow, so I want to get to bed at a decent hour. I will be reading until I cannot keep my eyes open anymore, which will probably only be like a half an hour. So I don't need to pick another book right now, but based on the fact that this isn't as like romance heavy as I thought, and that seems to be like what I'm leaning towards right now, I do have like 2 books in mind, and I'm leaning more towards the one because of how this one's going. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow, but yeah, enjoying it so far. I will update again more when I'm done tomorrow. Okay, so I finished Gracie Harris is Under Construction, and it did seem to stay, in my opinion, more of like a women's fiction with a romance. It followed Gracie more than anything, and her entering into a new part of her life, I guess is the best way to say that, after the death of her husband. So finding love, but also finding herself and becoming this new person that she is without him in her life. I really did enjoy it. I think it touched on grief in a very beautiful way and taught me, at least as a reader, that like that is not the end. Like grief is something we're all going to deal with in different capacities in our life, but there are ways through that. But you're always still going to miss people and stuff like that. It was just very beautifully written. I believe this is a debut for this author, so if so, I will definitely be looking to pick up more of her books in the future. But I really did enjoy it. I think it's around like a 4 or 4.25. I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to land on it. I think I've given like everything in this vlog a 4.25 right now, so we're staying pretty steady around that. But I really did enjoy it. Again, it didn't read too much like a romance to me. There was romance. It was a big subplot, but I would still call it a subplot, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. So, really enjoyed this book. Highly recommend. It does come out in July, I believe. I'll put the date on the screen. But I really did enjoy this book. It was just a fresh take on a romance, especially for someone as like a single, like she's a single mother, a widow. Like it was just a different take on a romance than I've read in quite some time. So highly recommend. Now I'm gonna move on and start my June TBR because it's all series and I do have 2 books in the Brood of Birthright series on my TBR. So the next one is book 3, which is Savage Lover. And this follows Nero and Camille. So I will talk more about what this is about once I read it because I'm not 100% sure. I've really not known what any of these books were going into them. I've just picked up the series and started reading them. So I'm going to start this one tonight and then I'll update tomorrow when I get home from work with where I am. This book is not very long. I think it's like 190 pages, or 290 pages, not even. So I like a quick, snappy romance. These are a little on the darker side. I wouldn't say like super dark romance, but they definitely lean more towards dark than they do like a rom-com. So I'll update tomorrow with some feelings and what the overall arching point of the book is. Okay, so I am 110 pages into this. Again, not a very long book, so I may be able to finish this out tonight if I can just like sit down and read. And then this will be the last book in this vlog. But I'm not loving this one because I'm just not feeling an emotional connection between the characters yet. I may eventually, but right now it's just, they're like old high school friends. They keep running into each other at all these events. And like she was the poor person that was always picked on. And he's Nero Gallo? Yeah. And he's like, you know, the badass mafia, blah, blah, blah. People fear him, all this stuff. And they're just completely different people. So I'm not really sure where the connection is going to come into play yet. Like she's a mechanic, she works on cars, and they have that in common, like because he's obsessed with his cars and everything, and she obviously loves cars. She works on them, she cares about her own, all that kind of stuff. Like they just keep running into each other, like weird street races and things like that, and like there's an attraction, but I'm not feeling like an emotional connection. So I think that's why I'm not loving it. And now Camille has got herself into a situation where she's trying to help her brother out of a bad spot he got himself in, so now she's not in a good spot. So I think that's going to come into play at some point, and maybe that'll bring them closer together, but right now it's very base level for me. So gonna just try to chug through the rest of this tonight, and then I'll wrap this up tomorrow. And yeah, I'm running a little behind on when I wanted to be able to post this, but it'll still be up the day I want. I just won't be up at the time I want, so we'll see. But I have a lot going on this week, so my whole schedule's been thrown off, and it will still be for the rest of the week. So anything I can get out to you guys to stay on my posting schedule, I'm happy with. But yeah, gonna try to finish this one out. I'm hoping that it picks up and it just like holds my attention a little bit more than it is right now, but we'll see. So I'll update when I'm finished. Hey everyone, time to wrap up the vlog. The last book we finished up with was Savage Lover. And this is not my favorite Sophie Lark book. I mean, this is the only series I've read by her, and this is probably my least favorite in the series, just because like I didn't feel a very strong connection between these characters at all. And I think that came through in the rating. I gave this 3 stars. The romance kind of came out of left field. There was no like build up. It was just, I just didn't feel like that moment when they started having feelings for each other. Like there was no turning point for me. It was just like, yeah, we haven't talked for years and I start seeing you everywhere. Let's be in love now. It was strange, but And even the secondary side story was kind of like meh to me. So I'm hoping that the last 3 in this series pick up a bit. But I still have Bloody Heart, Broken Bow, and Heavy Crown. So this was 3 stars. Just a quick recap. We started with Kiss the Sky, which was 4.25. Then we went to King of Greed, which was 4.25. And then Gracie Harris is under construction. I gave it 4 stars. So good vlog for being romance books. I only ended up getting 4 into this one just because time constraints, and I'm very busy right now with a lot of things. The rest of the week is extremely busy too, so the next few vlogs may just be less books because of time, but it is what it is. It's summer, there's a lot going on. I want to be outside more, so that is what it is. So let me know if you've read any of these books, your thoughts on them, what you've been reading lately, what your favorite romance book that you've been reading lately is, because that's the kick I'm on right now. It is getting warmer. That is what I'm going to start reading. That's going to be something you keep seeing on this channel right now, is me reading romance, because that's what I want to read. So let me know. And I thank you all so much for watching if you've made it this far in the video, and I hope to see you all in the next one.